For our balcony level, I have the shape that I wanted for my balcony extension. I have that selected. I'm going to come to Extensions, Papercraft, H-Lines. That is going to give me a path that is the same length as if it were unwrapped from going around this piece. Basically, it's the perimeter. If I look at it with the node tool, I can see this would be my back segment, and since I don't want railing there, I'm going to delete that node, Control Delete. That leaves me with this path with the nodes that represent the corners here, 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 here. I'm going to select that with my Select tool and press Control D to duplicate. Then come up to my Y, and I'm going to add to my Y value the height of my rails. So plus 1.25. That will move them apart the height that I want my rails to be. And now what I want to do is I want to make these into one big line. So what I'm going to do here is select both of them with the Shift Select, and then take these two nodes, and I want to put a line segment between them. Come up here, Join Selected Nodes with New Segment. And that's going to fill it in, which is fine, but I'm going to turn that off for a moment. We also need to do this side. We're going to do the same thing. And now we have a path that has all of our nodes in. Now there's a couple of things to be aware of. One, we won't need these nodes because we're not doing tabs on the top, and we're going to be removing them anyway. So I'm going to get rid of these center nodes here with a Control Delete. I'm going to leave the ones at the bottom, and I'll explain why shortly. Let's go ahead and fill that back in. Okay, so now we have this selected, and what I need to do is cut out the railing holes. Simplest way to do that is to draw a small rectangle. Make sure your snapping is off or it will get really annoying. Draw a nice little rectangle, something like that. Press Control-Shift-C to turn it into a path, and then make any adjustments you want to make. Let's zoom in on that and out a little bit, and just pull this up and maybe pull this down. All right, that looks about right. So let's back out. And we're going to use our tiled clone tool to duplicate this path across here just to make it easy to do. So I'm going to come up here to Edit, to Clone. Sorry about that. Clone. Create tiled clone. What I want to do is on the shift, I'm going to shift about 60% of the width per column, and that's going to just kind of move this over with some space in between. These are numbers you can play with, and then I'm going to have let's say 40 columns. This is rows, this is columns. If there's extra, we're just going to get rid of them, and then I'm going to press on Create. Okay, we got one extra maybe. And if I want a little extra distance in the very ends where I have my tabs, I think I'll delete that one also. That first one way over here, is actually on top of itself because there's a model that's underneath it that we used to make the tile clone, so I'm going to delete that as well. Now, with all of these cloned pieces here, I'm going to press Control K to join them into a single path. The reason for that is I'm going to be cutting those out from the back, and it needs to be a path. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is with that path we just created and the background path, I want to center it. Control-Shift-A for the Align panel, and I want to center it both horizontally and vertically. And then I'm going to press Control-Shift- to do the cutout. So It looks like railing now. Looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. But I need tabs on it or it's going to just be a pain in the neck to try to figure out how to attach it to our balcony. So let's add some tabs. Again, with your select tool, select this path, come up to extensions, to Papercraft, Tab Gen. I'm going to leave everything at the defaults and remember to check that this needs to be on the outside, not on the outside and the inside, just the outside. We're not going to try to make tabs on these insides. It doesn't make sense. And we're going to apply it. And now you'll see that we've created the tabs. There's an extra tab here at the top. We don't need that. So we're going to delete that. But the reason that we left the nodes on the bottom is because I do want tabs, separate tabs for each of these sides over here, because we're going to be bending there. If it was one solid tab piece, it wouldn't be, you'd have to cut it in order to bend it around and fold it over. So that's why I left the nodes as they were. So let's get rid of these extra nodes up here. So I'm going to select this, double click it to get the node tool, and then I'm going to press 3 to zoom in on it. What I want to delete is everything that is from here to here, which is the 2 nodes at the top of the tab plus the score lines over here. I don't want to lose this one node over here or that node over there, so make sure those aren't selected. Then just press Control Delete, and that's all that we need to do to remove the tab. All right, at that point you now have your railing available and you'll be able to attach it to the balcony, and this part can attach to the house. If you don't want it to attach to the house for some reason, you can always just cut these off or remove them in Inkscape. I like to be able to attach it to the house. I think it makes a stronger railing. And if you need to, you can always cover it up with another piece of the trim used for your house. So that's all there is to making a simple balcony structure.